Hello Nick, it's good to see you again. How are you?
Good, thank you, Lynn. How are you? It's good to see you too.
Yeah. And welcome viewers to our video here. I hope you enjoy them. So Nick, today I was going to talk about attachment in the terms that I use, attachment.
I'm actually very curious about this because we do read a lot about, I guess, attachment. And in the context of psychotherapy, what does that mean?
So in the context of psychotherapy, we talk about attachment that initially starts off, when I went to university at first, we were talking about attachment between parents and children. Now it has evolved into that we need the same sort of attachment, adult-adult. And the way I illustrate the depth of emotion for attachment is talking about babies to begin with. You know, when you imagine a baby when it's newborn, you know, it's totally dependent on its caregivers to be fed, to be clothed, to be kept safe from wild animals, you know, to have time to sleep and time to eat.
Or we wouldn't have survived as babies.
Precisely, you know, and that's what it is. It's a keeping a baby alive, you know. So I talk to couples. When I talk to couples, I talk about this attachment between them, you know, a safe, secure bond between the partners, and I try to illustrate by thinking about that attachment. So the illustration I give is, think of that baby and how dependent it is on you, and it's left to cry in its crib or its cradle.
Something that happens quite often.
Yeah.
Parents would just leave the baby to cry. In fact, there's sometimes a school of thought that that's the right parenting.
Yes, there is a school of thought about controlled crying, yes. And I tend to disagree with that, because and the way I picture that, just picture you know that baby there crying, and we've all had a baby that's crying, and there's a certain note there. If we leave them for a while, we can hear that note change and it starts to escalate. If they've dirtied themselves, if they're hungry, if they've got a sharp pain, the note changes, and we can, you know, as parents, we can detect those differences, and that's built into us, sort of thing. We ought to detect that. So just imagine a baby crying, hearing a baby crying, and think about what your stress levels would be listening to that baby crying on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay.
Did you want me to tell you?
No, you can just hold that number in your head, and you know. And I think a lot of adults probably have a fairly low score on that. But so now I picture you as an adult, working wherever you work, you know, and your boss. You've got a boss that employs you, and that boss invites you home to his place one evening. Okay. Now he lives out in the bush. Place you've never been to before. It's a house that's quite isolated from everybody else. You've got to find the place out, and he's invited you to come out by yourself and not with your partner. So you haven't got a partner.
Okay.
So
it's a tricky one.
That's right. So you go out in the bush. Now the boss is from a different nationality, and they're a nationality that eats lots and lots of rich food, drinks lots of wine at dinner. There you are, you're a guest, so you need to eat all this food.
That's right.
Really rich, and it's really delicious food, and there's lots of wine being poured out at the table. So yeah, there you are, really stuffing yourself, and just really starting to feel pretty bloated, you know. Suddenly, your hosts get up and leave the room, and these strange people come in, strangers to you anyway. Now they don't speak the same language as you. So you can't converse with them. You know who's this? Where are they? They grab you, they tie you into a straitjacket, so your arms can't move. They pick you up, throw you on a bed in the bedroom, they tie you down so you can't roll over and turn over. There you are in the straitjacket, tied down to the bed, can't move. You're screaming at them what are you doing, what are you doing? But they don't understand English. So they don't understand what you're saying, you can't understand what they're saying. They leave the room and close the door, shouting and screaming at you, and it sounds quite angry. And they leave the house and drive away, and you can hear your car driving away. Now there you are on the bed. Remember, a baby has no concept of time, so you don't know how long they've gone away for. You know that you're going to soil yourself or wet yourself because you've eaten all this food and drunk all this wine. There you are on the bed, powerless. What can you do? You can't protect yourself, can't look after yourself. What are your stress levels like now?
It sounds quite traumatic. It sounds quite a torturous experience.
It would be. So leaving a baby to cry on the bed like that, what do you think they experience as a stress level?
So I guess the parallels there is that the language is hard to understand. We do know we're going to soil ourselves. We don't know what's going on or predict or control at all.
That's right. And we have you know, baby has no concept of time, so we don't know how long those people have gone away for. They've gone away for a day. We're going to be in real trouble.
Oh wow.
But so where I use this is looking at the adult relationships that we have now, and say, when we establish a strong, safe, secure bond with our partner, we become as vulnerable as that baby, because we've got this safe, secure attachment with our partner there, and we can come home and share things with them that we don't share with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And over the time, the longer we live with somebody, the longer we're married to somebody, we get this safer and secure, more bond. You know, it just grows in a strength. Now, if something comes along that threatens that bond, sever it or threaten it at all, and that can be, we see our partner with a very attractive person of the opposite sex, or something like that, that could be a threat. And if we haven't been getting on with them quite so well, or if we've been arguing with them a lot, those things are threats to that bond. And they become just as traumatic to us as it was to that baby being left to nurture for itself, or imagine yourself being left in that bed. Those become so traumatic, they become like a death threat.
Oh wow.
So that's the attachment that I'm talking about, and that's the threat that we often get in couples when they get into stress situations.
I guess in that way it explains a lot of the behavior we see in couples where it's quite painful arguments or
Painful arguments, because one partner, or quite often both partners, are actually feeling that stress, that threat to that partnership. They're thinking, deep down, they might not think it, but it's deep down they're feeling, I might lose this person, I might lose this partnership, I might lose this relationship. So it's very threatening. What will happen to me if that partner leaves me?
So when you say deep down, you mean that it's not an actual thought, it's just a feeling of dread.
That's right, it's a feeling of dread, and it's, you were talking about anxiety in another video. That's a high anxiety situation.
If it threatens our survival, absolutely.
Absolutely. So this is why I try to stress to couples that this is the level. We can't underestimate the depth of the emotional experience that we're feeling in that threatening situation.
So it's the distancing between the partners, sensing that there may be something coming between them, that's so scary.
Very, very scary. Yep.
Okay. And how does that apply in psychotherapy?
How does it apply in psychotherapy? Well, what I try to do with my couples then is to get them to uncover that deep hurt that they're feeling, the deep need to maintain that relationship. And you can quite often get your couples to express, I'm really scared that I'm going to lose you. I really don't want to lose you. I really want you. I need you. I depend on you. If we can have a couple express that depth of emotion, then it evokes a similar and empathetic emotion in the other partner.
Oh wow, it sounds like almost helping couples reconnect with that depth of emotion.
Yeah, the ones that's been threatened and they may have lost through whatever process they're going through. People get into different cycles, and we can talk about that another time.
Well, thank you so much, Lyn, for this talk about attachment. It certainly clarified some things for me.
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope it's been helpful. Thanks very much for your help, Nick.
Thank you.